The stars looked different from the observation deck of the Unity Earth's flagship diplomatic vessel. Captain Dae-ho Kim stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the alien ship grow larger in the viewscreen. This was humanity's first contact with the Vorx, and everything had to go perfectly. 5 minutes until they dock, Captain, said the communications officer. Dae-ho nodded. Is Dr. Park ready? Yes, sir. Medical team is standing by. Dae-ho had been chosen to lead this mission because of his calm mind and steady hands. 20 years in Earth's unified military had taught him that first impressions matter. The Vorx had answered humanity's signals 3 months ago. And now, finally, they would meet face to face. Dr. Jin Park entered the observation deck, her medical uniform crisp and white. Captain, my team is prepared for the medical exchange protocols. Good. Remember, we know almost nothing about their biology, Dae-ho said. Jin smiled. That's what makes it exciting. The ship shuddered slightly as the Vorx vessel connected with their docking bay. Dae-ho straightened his uniform and walked toward the meeting hall, Jin beside him. Do you think they understand our concept of medical neutrality? Jin asked quietly. We'll find out soon enough. The Vorx were tall, taller than any human, with gray-blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Their ambassador, who called himself Kar, had 4 eyes set in a diamond pattern, and spoke through a translator device. Earth people, Kar said, his voice deep and mechanical through the translator. We come to know you. Dae-ho bowed slightly. We welcome you in peace. I am Captain Dae-ho Kim of the Earth Coalition. The meeting lasted for hours. The humans learned that the Vorx controlled 12 star systems and were always looking to expand. They weren't exactly conquerors. They preferred trade, but they weren't afraid of conflict either. When Dr. Jin presented the medical exchange protocols, the Vorx seemed confused. You wish to heal our warriors if they are damaged in battle? Kar asked. We believe in medical neutrality, Jin explained. Our doctors treat anyone who needs help, regardless of which side they fight for. Kar's upper eyes blinked rapidly. This seems inefficient. Dae-ho stepped forward. It is one of our oldest rules of war. Medical personnel and facilities are not targets. They help everyone. The Vorx delegation spoke among themselves in their clicking language before Kar turned back. We will study these concepts, he said. They are new to us. Over the next week, the humans and Vorx established boundaries, trade agreements, and communication protocols. The Vorx agreed to respect Earth's claim on its 7 colonies, and Earth recognized Vorx territory. But something bothered Dae-ho. Late at night, he found Jin in the ship's mess hall, looking troubled. Can't sleep, he asked, sitting across from her. Jin shook her head. I'm worried about how the Vorx view our medical corps. Today, one of their officers called our medics battle restraints, as if helping the wounded was some kind of weakness. Different cultures, different views, Dae-ho said, but he shared her concern. I've been studying their history from what they've shared, Jin said. They have no Geneva Convention, no protected status for medical workers. In their conflicts, everyone is a target. Dae-ho frowned. We've made it clear how important this is to us. I know, but do they truly understand? The treaty was signed the next day. The Vorx delegation returned to their ship, and Earth celebrated its first successful alien diplomatic mission. But as Dae-ho watched the Vorx ship pull away, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had been lost in translation. Do you think the peace will last? Jin asked, standing beside him. Dae-ho watched the Vorx ship disappear into the darkness of space. I hope so, Doctor. But just in case, keep your medical ships ready. What neither of them knew was that the Vorx had already identified Earth's medical corps as a strategic weakness, one they planned to exploit when the time was right. 6 months had passed since the first meeting with the Vorx. Lieutenant Han Sung stood on the bridge of the patrol ship Sentinel, watching the asteroid belt through the main view screen. This belt marked the border between Earth and Vorex space. Rich in rare metals and minerals, it was supposed to be shared territory according to the treaty. Another Vorex mining ship just entered the belt, sir, said the sensor officer. That's the fifth one today. Han frowned. The Vorex were taking more than their fair share. Earth Command had ordered him to monitor but not engage. Keep the peace. That was getting harder every day. Send the usual message, Han said. Remind them of the treaty limits. His communications officer nodded, but they both knew the Vorex would ignore it, just like they had for the past week. On the far side of the asteroid belt, Medical Officer Su Jin Lee was setting up a new field hospital. The small moon had no name, just a number in Earth's database, but it was perfectly located between the two territories, perfect for treating injuries from both sides. The oxygen generators are online, said her assistant. We can start accepting patients tomorrow. Su Jin nodded as she unpacked medical supplies. She had trained under Dr. Jin Park and believed deeply in medical neutrality. Her hospital would treat humans and Vorex alike. Do you think they'll come? Her assistant asked. The Vorex, I mean. If they need help, they will, Su Jin said. But privately, she wondered. The Vorex had not sent any of their injured to Earth medical stations so far. Back on Earth, Intelligence Officer Ji-Woo Kim walked quickly through the halls of Coalition Command. She carried a data tablet with information that couldn't wait. Without knocking, she entered Admiral Min-Ta's office. Sir, we have a problem, she said, placing the tablet on his desk. Admiral Min looked up from his work. His face was lined with age and experience from Earth's unification wars years ago. The Vorex are moving warships, Ji-Woo explained. Not just to the border, but in a pattern around our medical outposts. Min studied the data, his expression darkening. Have you informed Captain Dao? He's on his way back from diplomatic talks. The Vorex are claiming we're mining too much from the asteroid belt. Min stood up and walked to the window that overlooked the city. What do they want? Intelligence suggests they're testing us, sir, seeing how we respond to provocations. In space, Lieutenant Han's ship received an emergency call. A small Earth mining vessel was under attack by a Vorex patrol craft. Han ordered maximum speed to the coordinates. Weapons on standby, but do not fire first, he told his crew. We are peacekeepers. When they arrived, the Earth mining ship was damaged but intact. The Vorex patrol craft hung nearby, weapons still hot. Open a channel, Han ordered. When the Vorex commander appeared on screen, Han kept his voice calm. Your actions violate the peace treaty. Explain yourself. The Vorex commander's 4 eyes blinked slowly. This human ship crossed into our mining sector. All sectors in the belt are shared territory, Han reminded him. Perhaps the treaty needs reviewing, the Vorex said before cutting the communication. Han ordered his ship to escort the damaged mining vessel to the nearest medical station, Su Jin's new facility. As they approached the small moon, Han noticed 3 Vorex warships in the distance, just watching. It made him uneasy. On Earth, Admiral Min made a decision. He called Dr. Jin Park to his office. I want all medical ships on high alert, he told her. Something's not right. Jin looked concerned. The Vorex wouldn't attack medical facilities. We've made it clear how important medical neutrality is to us. That's what worries me, Min said. I think they've been listening too carefully to what we value most. As Su Jin's medical team treated the injured miners on the small moon, she didn't notice the Vorex ships moving closer or their weapon systems coming online. But Lieutenant Han did. He ordered his ship to stay at the medical facility, breaking his patrol route. Sir, are we expecting trouble? His second-in-command asked. Han watched the Vorex ships on his monitor. I hope not, but let's be ready just in case. Neither Han nor Su Jin knew that in Vorex tactical doctrine, there was no word for non-combatant. Dr. Jin Park stood on the bridge of the medical ship Mercy *. The large white vessel had a red cross painted on its hull, visible from all angles. It was the biggest hospital ship in Earth's fleet, and Jin was proud to command it. "All systems normal, Doctor," reported her first officer. "We have 300 medical staff on board and room for 1,000 patients." Jin nodded. "Set course for the border." Lieutenant Han reports more skirmishes in the asteroid belt. The Mercy moved slowly toward the border, its engines humming. 6 smaller medical ships followed behind, all marked with the same Red Cross. Their mission was simple: help the wounded, no matter which side they fought for. At the small moon outpost, Su Jin Lee worked tirelessly. 20 injured miners filled her beds, their wounds still fresh from the Vorax attack. "More ships approaching," her assistant said, looking at the scanner. 3 Vorax warships and 4 of our medical vessels. Su Jin felt relief. "Good. Dr. Park must have gotten our message." Lieutenant Han's patrol ship Sentinel circled the moon, watching the Vorax warships carefully. Something felt wrong. The Vorax ships had formed a triangle pattern around the medical outpost. "Sir," his communications officer called out. "Strange signals coming from the Vorax ships. They're talking to each other in a new code." Han frowned. "Contact Earth Command. I don't like this." Before the message could be sent, the scanner officer shouted, "Vorax weapons powering up." Han jumped to his feet. "Broadcast on all channels. This is a medical zone. There are wounded here." The Vorax ships didn't respond. Instead, bright beams of energy shot from all 3 ships. But they didn't aim at Han's patrol ship. They targeted Su Jin's medical outpost. "No," Han shouted as the first beam hit the small hospital. At the same moment, across the border region, Vorax ships appeared near every Earth medical station. They moved with purpose, as if they had planned this for months. On the Mercy Jin watched in horror as her scanner showed Vorax ships attacking medical outposts. "This can't be happening," she whispered. "They know we're medical ships." Her first officer turned to her with fear in his eyes. "Doctor, we have 3 Vorax battleships approaching." Jin grabbed the communication system. "This is Dr. Jin Park of the Earth Coalition Medical Corps. We are a neutral medical vessel. We..." The first shot hit the Mercy directly on its engine section. The ship shook violently, throwing Jin to the floor. Alarms blared as more shots hit the medical ship. "Get to the escape pods," Jin shouted to her crew. "Save who you can." On his patrol ship, Lieutenant Han watched helplessly as the Vorax ships methodically destroyed Su Jin's outpost. His weapons were no match for 3 warships. "Sir, what do we do?" his second-in-command asked, voice shaking. Han made a quick decision. "Get as close as you can to the outpost. We'll use our ship to shield any survivors. And record everything. Earth needs to see this." The Sentinel dove toward the burning outpost, taking fire from the Vorax ships. Han saw a small group of survivors, including Su Jin, trying to reach an escape pod. "There," he pointed. "Get between them and the Vorax." His ship turned sharply, absorbing a blast meant for the escape pod. Systems failed across the bridge, but Han kept his eyes on the screen. The pod launched, carrying Su Jin and a handful of survivors. Across Earth space, similar scenes played out. The Vorax attacked every medical ship and outpost in a coordinated strike. The Mercy broke apart under sustained fire, its red cross still visible on the burning pieces. When it was over, 300 medical personnel were dead. Dr. Jin Park was among them. As Han's damaged ship limped back to Earth with the surviving escape pods, he compiled the evidence. Videos showed the Vorax clearly targeting the Red Cross symbols, not once, but repeatedly. The Vorax had not just attacked Earth forces, they had deliberately targeted the medics. And Earth was about to show them why that was the worst mistake they could have made. The Earth Security Council chamber was silent as the video played. On the large screen, Vorax ships fired directly at the Red Cross symbols on Earth's medical vessels. Council members watched as the Mercy broke apart, its pieces burning against the blackness of space. Admiral Minta stood at the front of the room, his face like stone. When the video ended, he spoke in a calm, controlled voice. 327 medical personnel dead, 12 medical ships destroyed, 7 outposts gone. He paused. The Voreks knew exactly what they were targeting. Captain Daeho Kim, who had led the first contact mission, looked down at his hands. I told them about medical neutrality. They understood what it meant to us. That's why they targeted the medics first, said Intelligence Officer Jiwoo. They studied us. They found what we value and struck there. The Council President leaned forward. What response does Earth Command recommend? Admiral Min took a deep breath. I recommend we activate the War Crimes Division. The room erupted in whispers. The WCD had not been deployed in 70 years, not since Earth's last global conflict. Is that necessary? Asked one council member. We have conventional forces. The Voreks must understand that some lines cannot be crossed, Admiral Min replied. This was not a mistake. This was a deliberate attack on medical personnel. Lieutenant Hansung entered the chamber, still wearing his damaged uniform. His left arm was in a sling, his face bruised. I saw it happen, he said. They targeted the Red Crosses first. They knew what they were doing. Medical officer Su Jin Lee stood beside him, one of the few survivors from the border outposts. Dr. Park died trying to save everyone. Voreks patients included. We were there to help both sides. The council president looked troubled. If we deploy the WCD, there's no going back. They've already crossed that line, Admiral Min said. 6 more medical outposts have been attacked in the last hour. The vote was quick. The council approved activation of the War Crimes Division. Deep in a classified facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Colonel Jum Kang received the call. He had commanded the War Crimes Division for 15 years, though they had never been deployed. Until now. Understood, he said, his voice quiet but firm. WCD will respond. The facility came alive as Colonel Jum called his team to the command center. Captain Sunho Park, the tactical leader, arrived first. His face was serious as he looked at the images of destroyed medical ships. They targeted medics, he said, his voice tight with anger. Yes, Jun replied. That's why we're being activated. Technical specialist Yun Ji Choi entered next, already reviewing data on her tablet. I've analyzed their attack pattern. The Voreks specifically targeted the medical symbols. The rest of the team filed in. 50 men and women trained for this exact situation. They were not soldiers in the traditional sense. They were specialists in a very particular type of warfare. Colonel Jum stood before them. For those who don't know our history, the War Crimes Division was formed after Earth's unification wars. Too many atrocities went unpunished. Too many people thought they could break the rules of war without consequences. He touched a control panel, and images of the destroyed medical ships appeared on the wall screens. Our mission is simple. We don't fight wars. We don't conquer territory. We enforce the rules that make civilization possible. He pointed to the burning wreckage of the Mercy. When someone breaks those rules, we respond. Captain Sunho stepped forward. Rules of engagement, sir. Precision and proportion, Jun answered. We target those responsible, not civilians. The Voreks leadership that ordered these attacks must learn that breaking the rules has consequences. Technical specialist Yunji displayed a map of Voreks space. Our ships are ready. Unmarked, advanced stealth technology. They'll never see us coming. Colonel Jun nodded. Earth will announce a conventional military response. That will be their focus. Meanwhile, we will move in shadows. The WCD teams prepared to deploy. These weren't brightly colored military ships with Earth insignia. These were dark, silent vessels designed for one purpose. As they launched, Colonel Jum gave his final order. Remember our motto. We enforce the rules others forget. The War Crimes Division was going to war. The WCD flagship *Shadow* moved silently through space. Unlike Earth's bright white and blue military vessels, the *Shadow* was deep black, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. No markings, no flags, no identifying features, just smooth, dark surfaces that sensor systems struggled to detect. Colonel June stood on the bridge, watching his fleet of 12 ships spread out into Vorx territory. Each ship carried a specialized team with a specific mission. "Status report," Jun said. Captain Sun-Ho looked up from his control panel. "All ships in position. The Vorx don't know we're here. They're too busy watching Earth's main fleet at the border." On the main screen, they could see Earth's conventional forces. Bright, powerful ships making no attempt to hide. These ships were the distraction, making noise at the front door, while the WCD slipped in through the back. "Communications from Lieutenant Han," said one of the bridge officers. "He's providing updated intelligence on Vorx command structure." June nodded. Han had proven invaluable, having witnessed the attacks firsthand. The lieutenant had insisted on helping the WCD mission despite his injuries. Technical specialist Yunji entered the bridge, carrying her data tablet. "Colonel, I've completed analysis of Vorx communications. I can identify which commanders gave the orders to attack our medical ships." She displayed a chart on the main screen. 5 Vorx commanders, each responsible for different attack zones. Above them all was High Commander Vex, who had given the final order. "Their chain of command is clear," Yunji continued. "These 5 received orders from High Command, then personally directed their ships to target our medics." June studied the faces of the Vorx commanders. "These are our targets, not their civilians, not their regular military, just those who knowingly broke the rules of war." Sun-Ho nodded in agreement. "Team assignments are ready. Alpha Team will take the northern command post. Beta Team, the central communications hub. Gamma Team will infiltrate their main military base." The bridge crew worked efficiently, preparing for the most complex military operation in recent Earth history. Unlike a normal military strike, the WCD wasn't trying to win territory or destroy the enemy's ability to fight. They had a more surgical goal. "What about Medical Officer Su-Jin?" Sun-Ho asked. "Is she still aboard?" "Yes," Jun replied. "She insisted on coming. Said she needed to see justice for her patients and staff." Su-Jin had joined the mission as a medical advisor, but everyone knew her real purpose was closure. She had watched her hospital burn, her patients and friends die. In the ship's medical bay, Su-Jin organized supplies. She wasn't part of the WCD, didn't share their specialized training, but she understood what drove them. Rules existed for a reason. Without them, war became simple butchery. 5 minutes to first insertion point, announced the ship's eye. On the bridge, Jun addressed his teams through the communication system. "Remember your training. We are not here for revenge. We are here to enforce the rules that protect healers in wartime. Be precise. Be proportional. Be invisible." The first WCD team prepared to launch. They wore armor unlike any regular Earth military. Light, flexible, nearly invisible to sensors. Their weapons were non-standard, designed for specific missions rather than general combat. "Alpha Team, you are clear to deploy," Sun-Ho said. A small craft detached from the *Shadow*, its engines barely glowing as it moved toward a Vorx command post. Inside, 6 WCD operatives checked their equipment one last time. "Beta Team, prepare for launch," Sun-Ho continued. As the teams deployed, Jun reviewed the mission parameters once more. The WCD would not attack Vorx medical facilities, even though the Vorx had no such facilities of their own. They would not target civilian centers. They would focus only on the military command that had ordered the attacks on Earth's medics. "First team has reached insertion point," reported the communications officer. "No detection by Vorx sensors." June nodded. The War Crimes Division is officially in action. May they never forget what happens when you target those who heal. In the darkness of space, the black ships vanished completely, their teams spreading through Vorx territory like a silent tide of justice. Commander Draz of the Vorx forces stood in his control room, watching the main battle on large screens. Earth's military fleet pressed against the border, exchanging fire with Vorx ships. It was going exactly as planned. The humans were predictable, responding with direct force after the medical ship attacks. They fight without strategy, Draz said to his officers. All noise and fury. His second-in-command nodded. High command was right. Targeting their healers weakened their response. Draz turned away from the screen, satisfied. He didn't notice the small, dark shape that briefly blocked one of the stars outside his window. In the corridor outside Draz's command center, a panel in the ceiling silently slid open. A figure dropped down, nearly invisible in the dim light. Captain Sunho Park moved like a shadow, his suit bending light around him. Two more WCD operatives followed, equally silent. Command center ahead. Sunho whispered into his comm unit. 6 guards, standard positions. From the Shadow *, Colonel Jun monitored all teams through secure channels. Proceed as planned. Remember, we want Draz alive. Sunho nodded, though only his team could see the movement. Commander Draz had ordered the destruction of 2 medical ships personally. The WCD wanted him to face justice. Across Vorx space, similar scenes played out. Beta team infiltrated the central communications hub. Gamma team entered the main military base. Each team moved with perfect coordination, years of training now put into action. In the communications hub, technical specialist Yunji worked quickly, her fingers flying over Vorx control panels. She had studied their technology for years, preparing for this moment. I'm in their system, she reported. Deploying Package Alpha. Package Alpha wasn't a bomb or a virus. It was something more subtle. A program that would selectively disable weapons targeting systems, but only when they locked onto medical vessels or facilities. The Vorx would never know why their weapons failed when they tried to target medics again. On the main Vorx military base, Gamma Team placed small devices on key structural points. These weren't explosives. They were markers, broadcasting a simple message. We could have destroyed this. Remember that. Back at Commander Draz's post, Sunho's team reached the command center doors. With practiced moves, they neutralized the guards using non-lethal methods. No alarms sounded. No one died. Inside, Commander Draz was still watching the main battle, unaware of what was happening at his very door. Sir, one of his officers said suddenly, we've lost contact with Central Communications. Before Draz could respond, the lights went out. When emergency power came on seconds later, Sunho and his team stood in the center of the room. What is this? Draz demanded, reaching for his weapon. Commander Draz, Sunho said calmly, you are being detained for violations of interstellar conflict protocols, specifically the targeting of neutral medical personnel and facilities. The Vorx commander laughed. You have no authority here, human. We are not here as humans, Sunho replied. We are here as the War Crimes Division. We enforce the rules that make civilization possible. As the WCD team secured Draz, similar scenes played out across Vorx space. 4 other commanders responsible for the attacks were detained. Key Vorx military leaders simply vanished from their posts. On the Shadow *, Colonel Jun received confirmation of each successful mission. All primary targets secured. Begin Phase 2. In Earth space, Lieutenant Han watched the data coming in from his position on an Earth Coalition destroyer. The WCD was succeeding without firing a single shot in anger. This wasn't about revenge. This was about justice. Medical Officer Su Jin stood beside Han as the reports arrived. Will this bring our people back? She asked quietly. No, Han answered. But it will protect future medics. The Vorx need to learn that some lines cannot be crossed. As dawn broke on the Vorx homeworld, Their military leadership awoke to find strange packages on their desks. Each contained video evidence of the medical ship attacks, along with a simple message. Those who target healers will face justice. This is your only warning. The Vorrex High Command called an emergency meeting. 5 of their top commanders were missing. Their communication systems worked strangely, and somehow, Earth had struck at the heart of their territory without being detected. For the first time, the Vorrex felt fear. High Commander Vex slammed his fist on the table. The Vorrex War Council flinched at the sound. 5 empty chairs surrounded the table where his top commanders should have been sitting. How did they get past our defenses? Vex demanded. How did they take our commanders without firing a shot? No one answered. No one knew. Their main fleet is still at the border, said one officer, pointing to the tactical display. They haven't moved. Then who took our commanders? Vex asked, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly in anger. On the display, a new alert flashed. Vorrex battle fleets were moving into attack formation. Vex had ordered the largest counterattack in Vorrex history. If Earth had some secret force, he would crush it with overwhelming power. All ships prepare to jump, Vex ordered. Target every Earth outpost, every colony, every ship. Show no mercy. Aboard the Shadow Asterisk, Colonel Jun watched the Vorrex fleet movements with calm eyes. This was expected. The Vorrex were predictable in their responses. When threatened, they escalated. They're preparing a major counterattack, reported Sun Ho, who had returned from his mission with Commander Draz in custody. Jun nodded. Time for Protocol Hippocrates. The name was no accident. Hippocrates, the ancient Earth physician who had first sworn to do no harm. The protocol that bore his name was the WCD's most powerful tool, and its most restrained. Eunji, are you ready? Jun asked. Technical specialist Eunji looked up from her workstation. Yes, Colonel. The nanite swarms are programmed and ready for deployment. These weren't weapons of destruction. The microscopic robots had one purpose: to find and disable weapon systems without harming the operators. Specifically, they would target any system attempting to lock onto medical vessels or facilities. Deploy the swarms, Jun ordered. Eunji pressed a series of commands. From the Shadow Asterisk and its sister ships, small canisters launched toward the gathering Vorrex fleet. Too small to trigger defense systems, they reached their targets undetected. Nanites activating, Eunji reported. Beginning infiltration of Vorrex systems. Meanwhile, Sun Ho prepared to lead the most daring mission yet, infiltration of the Vorrex flagship. Not to attack or destroy, but to deliver a message in person. Are we sure this is necessary? Asked Medical Officer Sujin, who had insisted on joining the mission. Yes, Sun Ho replied. High Commander Vex needs to understand exactly who he's fighting. Aboard the Vorrex flagship, High Commander Vex prepared to give the order to attack. His massive fleet was ready, weapons hot. The Earth forces would be overwhelmed. Fire on my command, Vex said, raising his hand. Before he could give the order, the lights on the bridge flickered. The main screen changed, showing images of Earth's destroyed medical ships. Then it switched to the faces of the medics who had died. What is this? Vex demanded. The image changed again, showing 5 Vorrex commanders, the ones who had disappeared, sitting in holding cells. To High Commander Vex, said a calm voice as the screen showed Colonel Jun standing on the bridge of the Shadow Asterisk. I am Colonel Jun Kang of Earth's War Crimes Division. We have a matter to discuss. Vex snarled. How are you transmitting to my ship? Who are you? We are the enforcers of rules you chose to break, Jun replied. You targeted medical personnel. That was a mistake. On Earth, the public watched as news of the WCD's actions spread. Some praised the precise response, while others worried about escalation. But all agreed on one thing: the attack on medics could not go unanswered. Lieutenant Han, now assigned as liaison to the WCD, addressed the Earth Security Council. The War Crimes Division has detained those responsible without causing civilian casualties. This is not revenge. This is justice. Back in Vorex space, the counterattack began. Hundreds of Vorex ships fired on Earth positions, but something strange happened. Weapons targeting medical ships simply failed to work. Missiles veered off course. Energy beams powered down before firing. What is happening? Vex shouted as reports flooded in. Why can't we hit their medical ships? The answer came when the door to the bridge slid open. Captain Sunho Park and Medical Officer Soo-Jin Lee walked onto the Vorex flagship's bridge, surrounded by WCD operatives. Because we won't let you, Sunho said simply. Soo-Jin stepped forward, her medical uniform still bearing scorch marks from the attack on her outpost. I am here to offer you medical assistance if you need it, she said to the stunned Vorex. Because that's what medics do, even for those who try to kill us. High Commander Vex finally understood what he was facing. Not Earth's military might, but something far more dangerous. Its principles. High Commander Vex stared at the humans who had somehow appeared on his bridge. His guards raised their weapons, but Captain Sunho didn't look concerned. Your weapons won't fire, Sunho explained calmly. Not while she's wearing that. He pointed to Soo-Jin's medical uniform with its Red Cross symbol. Vex narrowed all four of his eyes. What have you done to our ships? We've enforced a rule, Sunho replied. Your weapons can fire at our military vessels all you want, but they will not work against our medical personnel. Not anymore. Soo-Jin stepped forward. The Vorex guards tensed, but their weapons remained silent. I treated Vorex wounded, she said, before you destroyed my hospital. I didn't ask which side they fought for. I just healed them. Vex looked confused. This wasn't how wars were fought in Vorex culture. There were no non-combatants. Everyone was a target. Colonel Jun has a message for you, Sunho continued, activating a small device that projected Jun's image on the bridge. High Commander Vex. Jun's hologram said, you have two choices. Continue this war under new rules, where medical personnel are protected, or face escalation from the War Crimes Division. Vex laughed. You think your little tricks scare the Vorex Empire. We will adapt. We will overcome. Perhaps, Jun's hologram replied. But first, your people should know why we're here. On every Vorex world, on every ship in their fleet, screens suddenly showed the same images. Earth's medical ships, clearly marked with red crosses, being deliberately targeted. The recordings included Vorex commanders giving the orders, their voices clear. What is this? Vex demanded. The truth, Sunho answered. Your people didn't know you targeted healers, did they? You kept that from them. For the first time, uncertainty showed on Vex's face. The Vorex military operated with total authority, but there were limits to what their civilian population would accept. On the Vorex homeworld, citizens watched the footage with growing horror. The concept of medical neutrality might be foreign, but they understood the targeting of those who only sought to heal. Back on the flagship, Vex's communication officer looked up from his console with fear in his eyes. Sir, we're receiving thousands of messages from the civilian government. They're demanding an explanation. Another officer reported, Commander Traz's battle group has stopped their attack. They're refusing orders. The carefully controlled Vorex military structure was fracturing. On the Shadow Asterisk, Colonel Jun watched the developments with satisfaction. Begin the final phase, he ordered. Technical specialist Yun-Ji nodded, typing commands into her console. Broadcasting to all Vorex ships now. Every Vorex vessel received the same message. This conflict can end today. Release your captured Earth personnel. Recognize medical neutrality. The War Crimes Division will return your commanders unharmed. On the Vorex flagship, Captain Sunho could see Vex processing the unthinkable, defeat without a single shot fired by this strange human division. Your military remains intact, Sunho told Vex. Your territory remains yours. All we ask is that you follow one simple rule. Those who heal are not targets. Su Jin added, and we will continue to treat your wounded, just as we always have. A message came through from the Vorex civilian government. The four-eyed face on the screen looked angry as it addressed Vex. This attack on healers violates our deepest principles, said the civilian leader. We did not approve this. You have exceeded your authority, High Commander. Across the Vorex fleet, more ships stopped their attack. A commander named Krell, respected throughout the Vorex military, openly declared, I will not fire on those who would heal my soldiers. Vex watched as his perfect war machine came apart, not from Earth's weapons, but from Earth's ideas. Lieutenant Han, watching from an Earth vessel at the border, sent a message to Colonel Jun. It's working. Their fleet is standing down. On the Vorex flagship, High Commander Vex faced the inevitable. What are your terms? He asked Sun Ho. The same as they've always been, Sun Ho replied. Respect the neutrality of medical personnel. Return our captured people. Face judgment for your actions against our medics. As Sun Ho spoke, more Vorex ships disengaged from battle. The breaking point had been reached not through force, but through truth. And aboard the Shadow Colonel Jun prepared for the final act that would cement this lesson in Vorex culture forever. 1 month after the confrontation on the Vorex flagship, Captain Dae-ho Kim stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 12 species filled the room, watching as humans and Vorex prepared to sign a new treaty. I never thought I'd see this day, Dae-ho said quietly to Admiral Min-ta, who stood beside him. Neither did I, Min replied. Especially not so soon after they hit our medics. The new Vorex leadership approached the treaty table. High Commander Vex was gone, removed by his own government. In his place stood Commander Krell, who had refused to fire on medical ships. Beside him was a civilian leader named Mox, who represented the Vorex people rather than just their military. Colonel Jun Kang watched from the side of the room, his War Crimes Division team standing behind him. Their job was done, and soon they would return to their deep space facility, waiting for the next call that might never come. The treaty is ready to sign, announced the Galactic Council President. The document laid out on the table was called the Park Protocols, named after Dr. Jin Park, who had died aboard the Mercy *. It established rules for medical neutrality that all species would follow in future conflicts. Commander Krell spoke first. The Vorex have much to learn from humans. We did not understand that strength comes in many forms. We saw your medical corps as weakness. We were wrong. He picked up the pen and signed the treaty. Mox signed next, binding the Vorex civilian government to the agreement. Admiral Min stepped forward to sign for Earth. As he did, Medical Officer Su Jin Lee entered the hall. She walked with a slight limp from injuries sustained in the attack on her outpost. Behind her came 20 Vorex civilians, all walking with similar injuries or bearing scars. These are the Vorex I treated before my hospital was destroyed, Su Jin explained to the gathered delegates. They have come to show their support for the treaty. Lieutenant Han Sung, now promoted to captain, stood as the Vorex civilians took seats among the Earth delegation. It was a powerful symbol of the new understanding between the species. We also bring this, Su Jin said, unveiling a stone monument. On it were carved the names of all medical personnel who had died in the attacks. Both human and Vorex names appeared on the list. Doctors and nurses who had been treating the wounded from both sides. The monument would stand in the Galactic Council chamber as a reminder to all species. After the ceremony, Colonel Jun met privately with the Earth Security Council. The War Crimes Division performed exactly as designed, said the Council President. Precise, proportional, effective. Jun nodded. We didn't seek revenge. We sought justice and change. Now every species knows that medical personnel are protected. And they know there are consequences for breaking that rule, added Captain Sun Ho. Technical specialist Yunji reported, the nanite systems will remain in Vorex technology for 1 year, ensuring compliance. After that, they will dissolve harmlessly. As the meeting ended, Admiral Min pulled Colonel June aside. "There's something you should know," Min said quietly. "We've received reports from the Centauri sector. Another species has been targeting medical ships." June's expression didn't change. "The War Crimes Division stands ready." On the Vorac's homeworld, changes were already happening. For the first time, the Vorac's established their own medical corps, marked with the same Red Cross symbol used by humans. Commander Krell personally oversaw their training, with Su Jin serving as an advisor. "Our culture is changing," Krell told her. "It will take time, but we now understand why medical neutrality matters." Su Jin nodded. Dr. Park would be proud. In Earth orbit, a new medical ship launched from the space docks. On its side was the name Jin Park *, in honor of the doctor who had died aboard the Mercy *. Its mission was to travel the border regions, offering medical care to all who needed it. Captain Dae-ho Kim watched the ship depart, remembering his first meeting with the Vorac's and how concerned Jin had been about their understanding of medical neutrality. "You were right to worry," he said quietly to Jin's memory. "But you would be proud of what came from it." The Jin Park * moved gracefully into space, its red cross shining bright against the darkness. Behind it, invisible and silent, a single WCD ship followed at a distance, just in case anyone forgot the lesson. They hit our medics, so Earth unleashed the War Crimes Division. And the galaxy would never be the same again.